Gary Willis, a resident of Ferndale, Maryland, was awakened Monday morning at 5:17 a.m. when two officers from Anne Arundel County knocked on his door. A law-abiding gun owner, Willis answered the door with a gun in his hand, according to a police department spokesman. They were there to serve him with an extreme risk protective order and remove his legally owned firearms. According to the spokesman, Willis put his firearm down to read the extreme risk protection order, but then, apparently recognizing that it wasn't a legal search warrant issued by a judge in accordance with protections guaranteed to him by the Fourth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, but instead was issued by a local judge under Maryland's newly minted red flag law, he retrieved his firearm. The spokesman said that Willis became irate. In the melee that followed, one of the firearms carried either by one of the officers or by Willis went off. One of the officers then pulled his own sidearm and shot Willis dead. Family members told Capital Gazette reporters that a distant relative had requested the RPO the day before due to an incident that occurred at his residence. The details of the incident remain unclear, but the backpedaling by the police chief began almost immediately. If you look at this morning's outcome, it's tough for us to say, well, what did we prevent? Because we don't know what we prevented or could have prevented. What would have happened if we didn't go there at 5 a.m.? Probably nothing. Because during his many years as a resident at his home in Ferndale, nothing untoward happened. His niece, Michelle Willis, said, "I'm just dumbfounded right now. My uncle wouldn't hurt anybody." Chief Altamari announced that since the law became effective on October 1st, there have been 19 extreme risk protection orders issued in his county. His officers have served 9 of them and have seized around 33 guns in the process. So successful have the unconstitutional raids been in Anne Arundel County that the department is building a new storage facility specifically to accommodate all the firearms they are expected to confiscate under the new law. Gun grabbers are delighted with the new laws springing up around the country. Jonas Oransky, deputy director of Everytown for Gun Safety, calls the unconstitutional gun confiscation laws a new frontier in his group's attack on private ownership of firearms. We think of this as a new frontier. We don't have a perfect system in this country, and we can't stop every act of gun violence. But these red flag laws are a way for states to take some care and be somewhat nimble when there is a dangerous case. The point of the Fourth Amendment, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures, shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause, is to protect private citizens, such as Gary Willis, from living in a police state where police can be nimble and arrive unannounced at 5:17 in the morning with a piece of paper that says they have the right to take his guns. The point of the red flag laws, however, is to do an end run around that Fourth Amendment. As the New American noted back in March, when red flag laws started popping up in a number of states in response to the Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School shooting in Parkland, Florida. The red flag provisions do not allow the person charged to defend himself or even to know who his accuser might be. Further, he must prove his innocence in order to get his confiscated firearms returned to him. He is guilty until he proves himself innocent. Extreme risk protection orders lower the standard in the Fourth Amendment, probable cause, to reasonable cause. They allow judges to act quickly, in Gary Willis's case, overnight, before the victim gets wind of what's coming and can secure legal counsel to defend himself or make other arrangements to protect himself and his property. Willis isn't the first citizen to be caught in the red flag web, just the first one to die as a result. In Seattle, an agency called the Crisis Response Squad has already pre-identified pre-criminals before they committed atrocities and seized their legally owned firearms. On March 1st, one of those identified as a pre-criminal didn't comply with the court order and made the headlines when police entered his residence and forced him to relinquish his weapons. ComoNews.com covered the incident, informing its readers that the 31-year-old man hadn't committed a crime but was guilty of escalating behavior, whatever that means. Some workers at a local restaurant, according to Como News, said the defendant harassed them while he was carrying a holstered firearm, which is legal there. Como News added that this man's pre-crimes included a history of police seizing a shotgun from him in a different incident. After entering his residence with the so-called warrant, based not on probable cause, but on the much lower standard of reasonable cause, the police not only retrieved a .25 caliber handgun, but then entered the residence of one of the man's family members, where they hoped to find some other firearms belonging to him. A teenage girl from Pembroke Pines, Florida, was brought to police headquarters and subjected to more than 2 hours of questioning about her posts on social media. No attorney was present. None was needed. After all, the right to lawyer up isn't allowed under the state's new law. Said Pembroke Pines Police Captain Al Chiquez, his police department will pursue those risk protection orders in accordance with the new law when we determine that it is necessary in order to protect the public's safety. The girl's attorney is suing to have the new Florida law overturned. And who can forget Chris Cuomo's infamous meltdown, where he was seen arguing with an interviewer?
I thought that's who you were.
No, punk-ass bitches from the right call me Fredo. My name is Chris Cuomo. I'm an anchor on CNN.
You're much...
Fredo is from The Godfather. He was that weak brother.
Isn't that your
And
brother?
they use it as an Italian aspersion. Any of you Italian? It's a fucking insult to your people. It's an insult to your fucking people. It's like the N-word for us.
Wow.
Is that a cool fucking thing?
You're a much more reasonable guy in person than you seem to be on television.
Yeah, but if you want to play, then we'll fucking play. If you've got something you want to say about what I do on television, then say it. But don't call me a
Hey,
fucking
man,
insult.
hey, listen.
What?
I don't want any problems.
Yeah, you're going to have a big fucking problem.
What's the
It's a
problem?
little different on TV. Don't fucking insult me like that.
I didn't insult you.
Fuck, you call me Fredo. It's like I call you punk bitch. You like that? You want that to be your nickname?
I didn't call you that.
You called me Fredo. You know my name's not fucking
I
Fredo.
thought your name was.
You did not think my name was fucking Fredo. Don't be a liar. You want to be a man, stand up like a man.
I'm standing up, man.
You want to be a man, I'm
Yeah,
here.
I'm standing
Then
up.
fucking own it. Then own what you
Listen,
said.
man, hey.
Then own what you said.
Listen,
Take
man,
them-
I don't
yeah,
have
what?
a problem with you, man.
Yeah, you're going to have a fucking problem.
What? What are you going to do about it?
I'll fucking ruin your shit.
something then.
I'll
Do
fucking
something.
throw you down these stairs like a
something.
fucking punk.
Please do.
Why, so
Come on,
you
you
can
don't wanna
fucking
do
sue?
that. You don't wanna
So you
do
can
that.
fucking sue?
Well, why don't you do it
Go
then?
take a swing. You want to call me Fredo? Take a fucking swing.
I'm not gonna swing
Take
at
a
you.
fucking
I'm
swing.
not gonna
Watch your
swing.
fucking hands.
I'm not gonna
Take a
swing.
swing. Watch your
Hey,
fucking
I'm not
hands.
gonna
Take a
swing.
swing.
I'm
No,
not
no,
gonna
come on,
swing.
boy.
I'm not
Come
gonna
on,
threaten
boy.
you.
So
I'm
you
not-
want to call me
I'm
shit?
not-
Call me shit
hey,
then.
listen, man,
I'm right
I'm not
fucking here.
doing anything.
I'll fucking wreck your shit. I'll fucking wreck your shit.
stop.
You didn't you didn't know what you were doing when
I
you
thought
called
it
me
was your
Fredo?
name, man.
You didn't know.
I thought it was your name.
You didn't know, right? Hey, you didn't know what you were saying, right?
I thought it was his name.
I'm
breaking it up. I'm breaking it up. This is my buddy. Hey, look at all these cameras. You're in for it. You're in for it.
I'm in for what?
You're
You
in
call me
for it.
fucking Fredo?
You're in for it.
You call me Fredo?
With one tweet, Donald Trump shows how red flag laws can be abused. Would Chris Cuomo be given a red flag for his recent rant? President Trump remarked, referring to Cuomo's absurd and emotional rant provoked by being called Fredo, filthy language and a total loss of control. He shouldn't be allowed to have any weapon. Trump's tweet was not surprising, since he's been a staunch supporter of red flag laws. On February 28, 2018, Trump went on record that he favored taking the guns early.
I like taking the guns early, so you could do exactly what you're saying, but take the guns first, go through due process second.
And on August 5, 2019, Trump called for all states to adopt extreme risk protection orders, also known as red flag laws.
This is why I have called for red flag laws, also known as extreme risk protection orders, to make sure that those judged to pose a grave risk to public safety do not have access to firearms, and that if they do, those firearms can be taken through rapid due process.
Where will this end? Repeal isn't likely, as states, encouraged happily by gun grabbers, are pushing for more red flag laws, not fewer. Instead, it will end when a court grows a backbone and declares them unconstitutional. Until then, every citizen legally possessing a firearm in red flag states is in danger of having a relative, an acquaintance with whom he has had a disagreement, a disaffected or offended neighbor or coworker, a mental health professional, or, as is sometimes the case, the police themselves. Petition a judge and obtain an extreme risk protection order that enables local police to remove the offending weapons from his possession, by force if necessary. Resistance, as Gary Willis found out, is not only futile, but fatal.